Hello friends, what's up? Welcome back to the channel. Today I'm doing a Q&A that I was supposed to do like 3 weeks ago and didn't have the time to get it done. So I'm going to go ahead and do that today. So I got some good questions that I thought I'd share with you guys. Here we go. So the first question I got was, what are some of your favorite things / shops, all things planner, hee hee. I feel like my favorite shops are typically showcased in my planner anyway. And they're just shops that like, I love them. I like their products and I continually support them. Latua Notes is one, Pen, Paper, and Plans. She has so many like pretty goodies. I love the aesthetic of her shop. Via Creations is another shop. I love her icons. I love her functional stickers, all that good stuff. And yeah, that's pretty simple. I also like Peanuts Planner Co., Simple and Trendy Co., that type of stuff. I've been on like a big washi kick here lately. I feel like I have like a plethora of like functional stickers and a lot of deco stickers. So I am on a no spend until at least December. So I am not really buying a bunch of planner stuff. I am in the process of really like shopping my stash essentially. So, but yeah, all of my favorite things, if you watch my flips or watch my plan with me's, those are typically showcased. So, and Scripts by LNC has, in my opinion, the best script stickers. Her shop is not open at the moment, but in my opinion, her script stickers are my absolute favorite. So hopefully she will open her shop soon. Okay, next question. Do you have any pet peeves or things you don't like about the planner community? Yes. There are things I don't like. I don't typically say anything because it just, number one, I'm not arguing with strangers on the internet. That's like my rule in life, is I'm not going to do it. But since you asked, I think like the thing that bothers me the most is it kind of sometimes reminds me of high school, in the sense of like, I want to be like the cool kids. I wish I could be like the cool kids. And so you have like certain individuals in the planner community and they're just showing their love of stationery, but they are, so I guess they're the cool kids. And it's like this mentality of, well, if so-and-so's doing it, I'm going to do it too type thing, instead of just like bringing your own individuality to what you're doing. And so I feel like a lot of times that, I don't know that that would be like a pet peeve, but it bugs me because I'm like, use what you like and use what you love. It's great that we can get inspiration from one another, but like this, like the, I don't even want to call it copying, but it's just like when we're all doing the same thing, like we lose that value in the planner community of, what am I trying to say? Okay, I was making sure like the Amazon car is driving down the road. So just want to make sure they're not stopping at our house. But I feel like it kind of loses its originality. So that is a pet peeve of mine. Also another pet peeve I have, no, I think that's it. I think that's my pet peeve, is that like cool kid mentality of so-and-so's doing it, so I ain't got to do it too. Like, just do what you like. Like, it's great to see something and like it, but you don't have to copy it, you know, and you don't have to do it just because they're doing it. So I feel like that's one of the things. And then I think too, like that whole like, oh, so-and-so copied, so I see I'm contradicting myself. Like copying designs. Like there's like a million shops that have like drop stickers. Let's give that as an example. Like just because you make a drop sticker doesn't mean you're copying someone else's work. So I think that there's room for all of us and everything we do, unless it's like just blatant, like I'm stealing your idea. I hope that made sense. You guys know I get on here and I'm like, blah, blah, blah. When did you start using a planner? I started like really planning in college. I was a full-time, or when I was an undergrad, I was a full-time student and I worked most of the time full-time, if not like having a couple of little side gigs happening. And I needed a way to organize my life. So I really used like the cheap Walmart and Target planners that, like, you know, what is it, Day Designer, Emily Lay, maybe, I don't know if those were specific ones I used, but like to that effect. It was those like bound, like wire O binding planners that had a monthly and a weekly, and that was how I scheduled out my life. So I've been using a planner consistently since college. So I'm 37 now, so almost 20 years. I'm new to rings. So rings, I wouldn't say new, but I've been in rings since 2020. Before rings, I did a disc system. It wasn't Happy Planner. It was a cheap disc planner that I got at Aldi for $7.99. I remember it, and that's what I used as a planner. It was very much a similar layout to Happy Planner. It just was a very affordable planner. So now I will say my love of stationery started at a very young age. I always had a diary growing up. I always had notebooks. I always wanted to buy stationery. Like when we had book fairs at school, that was like my thing. I didn't care about the books. I wanted the stationery. Lisa Frank, all that fun stuff. So I've always been a lover of stationery, but I did not really start planning until I was in college. I remember, and I've always had two planners. I've always had a purse planner, and I've always had like a home/work/school planner, and it kind of all combined. And I remember my dad, he used to work for an armored car company, and every year for Christmas, he used to get like these little pocket monthly, weekly calendars, and every year he'd give it to me because he wouldn't use it and he knew I would, and that was my purse planner. It was very, I mean, I would say, let me grab my Hobonichi. It was very similar in size to the Hobonichi. It may have been a little bit shorter, but like width-wise, it was very much like a wallet-sized planner. And that's what I kept in my purse. And then a disc system or a spiral bound. I did Erin Condren for a while. I didn't do like the full-on sticker kits, but I did do Erin Condren for a while and quickly realized that was not for me. And rings has been fantastic. And I've been in personal size since August of 2020 and continue to stay in that and continue to plan to stay in that size. Next question is, do your kids use a planner? No. Hold please. Okay, so my youngest, I had to get this. My youngest daughter, Sophia, I bought her this planner at TJ Maxx because she's been wanting a planner. And she doesn't really plan per se. She makes sticker spreads. She likes to, I guess, journal, memory, plan. She wrote what she did one day. So $3 well spent. But when she feels inclined to do this, she does. My oldest, no. I've tried. I buy her a planner every year at the start of school in the hopes that she will use it. I have tried to teach her strategies on how to use it. She just doesn't use it. We have a home planner. Hold on, and I will show it to you guys. You would think I'd be better prepared for this video. Okay. Every year I buy one of these from the Target Dollar Spot or the Bullseye. I don't know what it's called anymore. And it is a family planner. This hangs on the wall in our kitchen, and I have a color coding system, and it has all of our appointments, all of our kids' activities, all of that. This is what everyone else in the family relies upon. Mom is the planner. But no, I have tried really, really hard to get my oldest to plan, and she is not interested and will not, no matter what I try to do. But I continue every year. I buy her an academic planner in the hopes that it'll stick one day, and that she does have that option. But yeah, so we rely very heavily on the family planner that hangs up. It just hangs up in our kitchen, and every month I fill in all of our activities, all of our appointments, all the things that everybody in the family needs to know, and that's what we utilize and that's what we look at. So I am the planner. I am really the only one in our family who uses a planner consistently, but I'm the one who maintains most of the stuff. So there's that. Somebody else asked, what do you love, hate about the planner community? I'll revert back to my previous statement about like I don't want to say hate, because I feel like hate's a strong word. Like there's just nothing that like it happens so much that I'm just bothered by it. Like I just kind of like, ugh, and then I move on. But what I love about the planner community is community. I've met some really cool people, like online friends that I talk to pretty regularly, that I check in on, that we have some really good conversations, and we talk about our love for planning. We crack jokes on each other. You know, we joke about, like, we have Tiff, we have excessive sticky notes. We hoard stuff that we know we're never going to use, but we don't. I have conversations with planner friends about pets and dogs, about kids, about just funny stuff, like stuff I wouldn't put out there. The amount of money that like certain things cost that is utterly ridiculous in my opinion, but I'm not spending your money, you're spending your money, and if that's what you value in life, I have no judgment. But that's what I love about the planner community, is the community behind it, is talking to people, getting some good ideas from people. Monique's going to have me I'm going to be cutting down a book before too long. I told her I was going to do it in 2023. I'm going to do it. I'm going to DIY cut a book just for fun. So I think that, like, getting ideas, like, I would have never thought, if I hadn't like followed Monique Life on Instagram. She also has a YouTube channel. But if I had never followed her, I would have never known that you could cut down a Stalogy, that you could cut down a Hobonichi cousin to make it a standard size. I would have never known that. So I think like that is really cool, because you have like people who have been in the community for a long time that have really good ideas and add so much value to how you do things. And then you can kind of take it and make it your own, right? Well, next question is, one piece of advice you wish you had gotten as a planner newbie. Don't buy everything all at once. Utilize freebies. That would be the best advice that I could give anyone who's new. Also, try it before you fully invest and fully commit, because you may not like it. It may not be for you. And don't try to force it. If it's not working for you, don't try to force it just because, and it's going to go back to, because all the cool kids are doing it. Because if it doesn't work for you and it's going to be a stressor in your life, what is the point of doing it? You know, part of like this hobby of ours, right? This planning hobby, this love of stationery, is because we truly love it, and it makes us happy, and it's good for our mental health, and it's good for our well-being, and it's something that we can do to be productive and keep our hands busy and keep our minds busy, right? But part of it is productivity and the functionality, and you know, I use a lot of my planner to really keep my life on track, because I have a really busy schedule and I forget stuff. Like, for example, I forgot this Wednesday, it was in my Hobonichi weeks, and I forgot my daughter had an orthodontist appointment on Wednesday. I missed it, completely missed it. It never made it to any of my monthly spreads. Thankfully, I caught it. But like, that's what your planner's for, right? It's to help you like keep on top of things in your life and to increase productivity, as well as to be an enjoyable experience for you. And so if it becomes a chore, or if it becomes something that you don't like or doesn't serve you, then what's the point of doing it? So do what works for you. You don't have to do what everybody else does. I know, like, personal size, like, there was a period where nobody liked personal size and nobody used it. I stayed in personal size. Personal size made a comeback this summer, and everyone was all about some personal size. I'm still in personal size. That is my size. You know what I'm saying? All the other stuff is for fun, except for my weeks, because my weeks is my purse planner. It keeps me, it's like something I can reference on the go. So anyway, that would be not just one piece of advice. It had steps, right? It always does. Like, it's never just something simple with me. But yeah, and you want to, like, don't buy all the things. Like, I promise you. I had a conversation with someone the other day, and profound statement made by this person. And I'm not going to call her out because I don't know if she would want to be called out, but you know who you are if you're watching this. That her statement to me, because I was talking in a video where I was saying, like, I added up all of my planner purchases and I was really disappointed in myself, not because I was like buying stuff I liked, but because I spent so much in something that, while I enjoy it and while it's a hobby, I have other goals, and it got away from me. And I'm aware now, and I'm course correcting, but it was, you know, don't, like, look at products and look at things as planners that work within alignment of how you plan. don't try to make products. Don't, how did she word that? But like, does that product work in alignment with your planning? And if it doesn't, do you really need it? You see what I'm saying? She said it so much better than I could, but very profound, because I was like, yes, oh my gosh. Like, you're not going to buy something and work around planning around it, right? Like, is it going to serve you? Is the whole point I'm trying to get at. Lord, Tiffany, you're rambly. You guys bear with me. And then the last question I got was ADHD and planning. ADHD, it's a thing, right? And so, so my ADHD is either inattention or hyperattention. It's one or the two. And I have tendencies to be impulsive. However, I check myself. I have strategies in place. And I feel like a lot of what I do, routines. I respond well to routines. Routines are what gets me through life every day. And having a set routine is what helps me remain consistent, which is why staying in the same size is important to me. For me to stay on track and focused on this to where I don't leave it, I change deco. Now, some people like to jump sizes. I can't. That stresses me out. And if I start to feel overwhelmed, I'll quit. That's the reality of it. So I change decorations. I swap out covers and all that. That's what keeps my attention, okay? I also have processes in my planner. You guys really help me stay accountable to myself with my weekly plan with me's. Because I can't say that if I didn't fill my weekly plan with me's, that I would actually take the time to sit down and plan every week. But because I know I'm showing up for my internet friends and for my viewers on YouTube, I stick with that. So having those processes, but also not having so much that your attention is constantly jumping. And I think that's what gets me sometimes is I'm trying to explain this in a way that in my mind it makes sense, just so you guys know. I bounce. I'm a bouncer. So that's my inattention, right? I always talk about like I bounce. If you hear me talk about bouncing, it means I'm inattentive. So in order for me not to bounce, I have designated purposes for each of my planners. And I don't put so much pressure on myself that I must complete it, but I know what helps me. And so it's strategies over the course of my adult life that I have developed to help me stay focused and honed in. Because if I don't, I know I'll forget stuff and I know I'll let someone down. And it's going to be someone I care deeply about. Does it make sense? I hope it makes sense, guys. So like personal rings is like my everyday life planner. Like it has all of my things, and I made some changes this month that I think is going to help me because I've removed a lot of sections. So I don't force myself to use stuff that's not useful to me. I think that that's very important. So I have removed some stuff out of my planner. Also, I will make adjustments. I'm constantly tweaking, constantly adjusting, because if I don't, I'll get bored. Changing inserts, that type of stuff helps me kind of like refocus. But also, it helps. I was talking about compartmentalizing, and then you guys see where I bounced, right? But anyway, so we know that my personal rings is like my catch-all. It's my life planner. That's what I'm gonna call it, my life planner, because that's where all the magic of my life occurs, is in this. My weeks has a very specific purpose. It's on-the-go planning. This is in my purse. It's messy, and I'm okay with that. Okay, I'm not okay with my personal rings being sloppy and messy, because I need it to be organized and structured, or I can't focus. I feel overwhelmed. My cousin is for more messiness, because I can use that to release creativity, whether that's drawing, writing, doodling, coloring, whatever. That's the purpose it serves in my life, but there's no pressure to write in it. The only planner, besides my work planner, but my work planner, you know, we gotta do our jobs, right? So that's why I have a work planner, and so I don't miss stuff, and I show up at my job the best me possible. But in this thing, I have things, and everything has a purpose, because I'm purpose driven. Like, I'm inattentive, but I'm purpose driven. Lord have mercy. You see how I'm bouncing. So me having this is what helps me manage my symptoms of inattention, because I will bounce. But everything has a purpose in here too. The brain dump. The brain dump is for those days where I'm like, I gotta do this, I gotta do this. I'm hyper. I gotta do this, gotta get this done, gotta get this done, gotta, you know what I'm saying? So that's why I have that. I had a long, like crazy long brain dump for this weekend. And I was hyper focused and got it done. I don't always do that. But I also don't want to feel overwhelmed. But it's also habit, guys. It's not just, you're not going to just magically start writing in your planner. Start small. Like if you struggle with inattentiveness, start small. What's small? A monthly and a daily. Have a monthly that tells you everything coming up. Have a daily so you can partialize that. You can break down, okay, this is a whole month. That's overwhelming, right? But if you break it down into a day and have your schedule for a day, it's not as overwhelming. Start small. Start with small everyday habits. Be able to recognize if it's making you feel overwhelmed, because if it is, it's not serving you. And you've got to be able to identify what is causing the overwhelm. Where is the overwhelm? I don't have to track everything. And so if I'm feeling overwhelmed, I'm not tracking. Period. I'll go back. You know what I mean? So start small and identify those areas and make it a habit. Check in on your planner in the morning and in the evening to see what you accomplish. Set those habits. That's the big thing with me, is habits, routines. That's what gets me through life. That's what gets me through my day. Being able to verbalize. That's a big thing for me. And I've learned that on into my 30s. I'll give you guys an example. I was in a meeting. I started a new job Monday, and we were bouncing. And I'm sitting there and I could feel how overwhelmed I was because I could not focus on anything that was happening. And I just said, hey guys, can we take a moment? I'm feeling extremely overwhelmed, and can we just focus on one thing right now? Because I'm not going to be able to contribute if I can't. So being able to verbalize that. Yeah. And it's hard because there are times, like I'm noticing, just so you guys know, I am using the Budget Moms Budget by Paycheck workbooks. I reviewed them on my channel if you guys are interested, but I'm loving it, right? I'm hyper focused on it, and I'm spending way too much time playing in my budgets. I know that. So I'm having to take a step back. Do I really need to look at this? Do I really need to be playing with these numbers? Do I need to do this? And if the answer is no, I need to take a step back. And so identification is so important, but starting small is also important, and then making it a daily habit. Because if not, then you're like me and you start bouncing. But then when you start bouncing, you don't focus and you start missing stuff. And so, you know, I have to give myself little pep talks on a regular basis. Okay, Tiffany, this is what we're doing right now. We need to stay on task. You guys, I'm telling you, I relate to these kids that are all over the place, because I'm one of them. I'm not a kid, but I'm all over the place. I'm constantly bouncing. So Lord have mercy, Tiffany can talk about this for a long time. But anyway, that would be like my advice for you starting. And I am more than happy to continue conversations like this. But that's what I've learned, is start small, make it a habit. And routines. You guys, routines are so important for anyone, I believe. I function better with some type of structure, with some type of routine, with knowing what I'm going to do. It's the unknown that causes anxiety, that causes stress, all of that. And you can't always say like you're going to be in the known zone. So I call it the known zone. But you can kind of prepare yourself ahead of time by already having the habits that matter to you in place. And that's how it is with me. That's why I have a morning routine. My morning routine is so basic, but I have it. I have a nighttime routine. My nighttime routine is so basic, but I have it. My Sunday routine, where I'm planning for my week. You guys help me with that. So basic, but I gotta have it. It helps me function as a human and to do what I should be doing. Yeah. Anyway, woo, long-winded. But yeah, I think that was all the questions. I hope I didn't miss anything. If I did, I'm sorry. This is already a 30-minute video, so I'm done. Yeah. So anyway, I'm glad I got to sit and chat with you guys. I appreciate you guys. I have fun interacting with you all the time. I enjoy it. You guys are so kind. I appreciate you so much. You guys have no idea how much I appreciate you. But I also, like, please know I am not a planning expert. I'm not an expert in a lot of stuff. I'm just sharing my life journey with you guys, and you guys are helping me be accountable to you guys, because I show up every week and try to bring you guys like good real life content, because that's what it boils down to, right? This is me, mess it all. And my squeaky chair, you guys, it's new and it's already squeaking. I think it's me. But anyway, yeah, that's it. I hope you guys enjoyed today's video. If you did, hit that thumbs up. You know, I gotta be cheesy about it. Subscribe if you haven't already. I will see you guys in my next video, and I hope you have a fabulous day.